Hello friends, myself Rasika Pagaria from Aram Junior College. If you remember, we have started with fourth chapter and in last lecture we studied about the supply, total output, stock, then factors determining the supply, and we studied individual supply curve and market supply curve. Today, let's look at the slides. We studied about the introduction, concept of total output, stock and supply. Then we studied the meaning and definition of supply. Then supply schedule, that is individual supply schedule and market supply schedule. Then determinants of supply. Today we'll be studying the law of supply. The law expresses the fundamental relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. This law was first introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in this book Principle of Economics, which was published in 1980. The law explains the functional relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. Let's look at the statement of the law. Other things being constant, higher the price of the commodity, more is the quantity supplied, and lower the price of the commodity, less is the quantity supplied. Means what? Other things are constant. Other things like natural calamities, state of technology, transportation, all these factors are constant. The price, when the price of the commodity is rising, the quantity supplied also rises. When the price is low, the quantity supplied is also low. In simple words, other factors remaining constant, a rise in the price result in the rise of the quantity supplied and vice versa. Thus, we can say that there is a direct relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. Next is the assumption of the law of supply. See, when we go through this law of supply, we have to assume certain things to be constant. If we don't assume these things to be constant, we won't be able to get the proper supply curve or proper supply schedule. So first is the constant cost of production. We have to incur certain cost of production. If we assume here that the cost of production is constant, a change in cost of production will affect the profit of the seller. Therefore, less quantity will be supplied and at the same price or less quantity will be supplied. So this goes against the law. So we assume here the constant cost of production. Next is the constant technique of production. See, we know that technology goes on improving day by day. But yeah, when we are looking at the law of supply, we assume that the technology which we are using for our production is constant. Improved technology of production may lead to an increase in the production. This in turn may lead to increase in supply, but the price would remain the same. So, constant technique of production is assumed here. No change in weather condition. The weather condition remains unchanged. Like natural calamities like flood and all are not occurring here, and there is no change in the weather condition. No change in government policy. We have seen government frame certain policies like taxation policy, industrial policy, and subsidies, and everything is given by the government. See, if the government policy are in our favor, then we can have a very good supply. But if those government policies are not in our favor, it will affect our production and then our supply. So we assume here that there is no change in the government policy. गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी जो पहले से चलती आ रही है, जो पहले थी, आज भी वही है, एंड ऑन दैट बेस्ड assumption we are following the law of supply. No change in transport cost. So transportation plays an important role. जितना अच्छा ट्रांसपोर्ट अपने को मिल रहा है, उतना अच्छा अपना सप्लाई चलेगा. So we assume here that there is no change in the transportation cost. Price of other goods remain constant. या अदर गुड्स हियर मीन्स सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड्स जो भी है उन सबका प्राइस सेम ही है यहाँ पे. देयर इज नो चेंज इन द कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. प्राइस ऑफ अदर गुड्स आर अज्यूम टू रिमेन कॉन्स्टेंट. इफ दे चेंज द प्राइस, द लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई may not hold true because producer transfer resources to other product. No future expectations. The law assumes that the seller do not expect any future price change. Like I have said earlier, if we come to know that and in next month the price of the certain commodity is going to increase, what will happen? Will stock more goods and will reduce the supply. So it is said that there is a no future expectations here. फ्यूचर में भी आज जो प्राइस है फ्यूचर में भी वही प्राइस रहेगा. वी अज्यूम दिस एंड वी मेक द लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई. I hope it's clear with the assumption. That is constant cost of production, constant technique of production, no change in weather condition, no change in government policy, no change in transportation cost, price of other goods remain constant, and no future expectations. Let's move towards the next slide. Now, law of supply. What law of supply says? There is a direct relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. Right? See, if you look at the table, what we come to know, price of the commodity X in rupees, that is 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, 40 rupees, 50 rupees, and supply of a commodity X in kgs. See, when the price is rupees 10, supply is supply is in 100 kg. When the price is rupees 20, the supply is 200 kg. When the price is rupees 30, supply is 300 kg. When the price is rupees 40, supply is 400 kg. When the price is rupees 50, supply is 500 kg. So what we come to know here is, as the price increases, this supply is also increasing. If we plot this on a graph paper, what we get is the supply curve is sloping upward from left to right. See in front of your screen. On y-axis there is a price, and on x-axis there is the quantity supplied in kg. When the price is rupees 10, supply is 100. When the price is rupees 20, supply is 300. When the price is rupees 40, supply is 400. When the price is rupees 50, supply is 500. If we plot these points on a graph paper, we'll see that the supply curve is sloping upward from left to right. This tells that there is a direct relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. This is nothing but a law of supply. Now, exceptions to the law of supply. Supply of a labor. See, labor plays an important role in the law of supply. Labor is क्या है? Labor works for certain hours. If we come to know that wage rates are going to increase, what will happen? Labor will work with some leisure, right? But if I say कि वही wage पे आपको ज़्यादा काम करना है, will he able to work that way? No, he will work with some leisure. जितना उसको काम करना है वो उतना ही काम करेगा. So supply of labor is an exception case. If I say कि I am going to increase your wage rate, what will happen? He will work more, but at the same time मैं ज़्यादा लेबर रखूँगी क्या काम पे? नहीं रखूँगी. I won't give more employment to the labor. But if I say I'm going to increase the working time, जितना वो उसका potential है, जितना वो काम कर सकता है उतना ही करेगा. उसके बाद he will start wasting his time. He knows he has to work from 9 to 6 o'clock. उसको टाइम कैसे भी काटना है. जितना वो काम कर सकता है उतना करेगा, बाकी टाइम वो he will do time pass. So this is the exception to the law of supply. Next is the agricultural goods. What about agricultural goods? See, agricultural goods, we know they are seasonal in nature. Certain goods like it's not applicable. Specific goods depends upon the weather condition. So now is the season for mango. So will I get mango right now? But what about other fruits? Do I get other fruits in the market easily? No. Everywhere what I see is the mangoes. So due to unfavorable change in weather, if the agriculture production is low, the supply cannot be increased at that time, because in India agriculture completely depends upon the monsoon. So urgent need of a cash. See, if I need cash urgently, what will happen? I will sell my good at whatever price I can, so that मेरा urgency cash का है वो मैं पूरा कर सकूँ. If the seller, he may sell his product at which may even be lower than the market price. Market price आज जो भी है, आज उससे कम दाम में मेरे को मिल रहा है, बट मेरे को अर्जेंटली कैश चाहिए. मैं क्या करूँगी? ठीक है बाबा, यू टेक इट, जस्ट पे मी इमीडिएटली माई मनी, सो दैट मेरा आगे का रिक्वायरमेंट पूरा हो सके. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज द पेरिशेबल गुड्स. Perishable goods मतलब which can't be stored for a long time are known as perishable goods, like milk, uh, fruits, vegetables. These are all perishable goods. We can't store them for long time, so we have to sell them. So if you go to a fruit market or vegetable market, सुबह सुबह आपको जो सब्जी, like if I say tomato, if I'm getting at 30 rupees kg, but if I go in the evening, so they have to wind up their market because it is turning dark or no one goes to buy vegetables at night. What they will say, जो सुबह 30 rupees kg tomato you were getting, you will get those tomato at the rate of 20 or even 15 rupees you will get that tomato per kg. Why so? Because they have to sell their product. किसी तरह उनको बेचना है, then only they can earn profit. So perishable goods को ये law of supply is not applicable. Then rare goods, the supply of rare goods cannot be increased or decreased according to the demand, right? Even if the price are high, supply remains unchanged. For example, see coins, we have stamp and all, उनका price जो है वही रहेगा. You can't increase the supply or you can't stock it for a, if you are, अगर आप स्टॉक भी कर रहे हो, यू कीप इट एज योर हॉबी. आप ऐसे बेचने के लिए नहीं निकालोगे ना वो. इवन इफ द मार्केट सप्लाई, बहुत ज़्यादा सप्लाई है, बहुत ज़्यादा डिमांड है, तभी भी आप उसको सप्लाई नहीं करोगे. सो दिस इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल फॉर द रेयर गुड्स. सो एक्सेप्शन टू द लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई आर supply of labor, agricultural goods, urgent need for cash, perishable goods and rare goods. So let's move towards the next slide. Now there is a variation in supply. What do you mean by variation? When quantity supplied of the commodity varies due to the change in its price, other factors remain constant. It is known as variation in supply. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, क्वांटिटी सप्लाई चेंज हो रहा है, कभी क्वांटिटी चेंज हो रही है तो कभी प्राइस चेंज हो रहा है, but other things remain constant. It is known as variable in supply. There are two types of variable in supply. One is the expansion in supply and second is the contraction in supply. What do you mean by expansion? It refers to the rise in the quantity supplied due to the rise in the price of the commodity. Other factors remain constant. See, if you look at the graph which is in front of your screen, we have plotted price on the y-axis. On x-axis we have plotted the quantity demanded. What happened here? Price is the, P is the original price and Q is the original quantity supplied. If I increase the price, price has changed from P to P1. Quantity supplied has also changed from Q to Q1. What happened? Price क्या हुआ है, कम change हुआ है, but quantity supplied has changed more. It has been almost double. So what happens? We'll get a new supply curve. At the point N, we see that new supply curve. So this is known as the expansion of supply. It refers to the rise in the quantity supplied due to the rise in the price of the commodity. Supply भी बढ़ा है और price भी बढ़ा है. Other factors are constant here. Next is the contraction in supply. It refers to the fall in quantity supplied due to fall in price. यहाँ पे क्या हो गया है, प्राइस चेंज हुआ है और क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड भी चेंज हुई है. See, price has changed from P to P2. Quantity has been changed from Q to Q2. This is nothing but a contraction in supply. The name excuse me, from the name itself it is very clear that expansion means जो expand होता है. यहाँ पे क्या expansion में क्या हुआ है, price and quantity supplied दोनों क्या हुए हैं, expand हुए हैं. Contraction यानी क्या, पास में आना, like coming close. Contraction में क्या हो गया है, price और quantity supplied दोनों क्या हो चुके हैं, गिर चुके हैं, दोनों fall, both have been, there is a fall in quantity supplied as well as in the price, but other factors had been remain constant. I hope it's clear with. Now next is change in supply. Change in supply again comes in two types. That is increase in supply and decrease in supply. When other change in supply means when other factors price when other factor changes and price remains constant, it is known as the change in supply. there are two types of change in supply. First is increase in supply and the second one is decrease in supply. Increase in supply refers to rise in the supply of given commodity due to favorable change in other factors such as fall in the price of input, fall in tax rate, technological upgradation, etc. while price remains here constant. क्या हो गया यहाँ पे? प्राइस कांस्टेंट है, प्राइस इज द सेम बट quantity supplied has been increased. Why quantity supplied has been increased? Because there has been some favorable conditions like fall in tax rate, technology upgradation. These are all favorable conditions which led to the increase in supply, but price remained the same. If you look in the graph, see our original supply curve was SS and S1 is our new supply curve. That shows that there is an increase in the supply. Decrease in the supply. Decrease in supply, the name itself it is very clear. Increase means supply increase हुआ, price वही रही. Decrease in supply मतलब supply decrease हुआ, right? Decrease in supply refers to the fall in the supply of a given commodity due to unfavorable condition. Decrease in supply. Supply क्यों decrease हुआ? Because there were certain unfavorable conditions like increase in price, increase in tax rate, technology outdated हो गई, strike by workers. All this led to the decrease in supply. But यहाँ पे price remain unchanged. दोनों जगह price unchanged थी. Increase in supply में क्या हुआ? Price remain same, but favorable condition की वजह से supply बढ़ा. Decrease in supply में क्या हुआ? Supply decrease हुआ. क्यों decrease हुआ? Because there were several unfavorable conditions like increase in the price of the output, tax rate, workers went on strike, technology was outdated. But price क्या हुआ? Price remains unchanged. If we look at the graph, see on y-axis price is there, on x-axis it is quantity supplied. What happened? Supply price remained the same. So quantity supplied क्या हुआ? It has changed from Q to Q2. Our original supply curve is SS and here the new supply curve which we got due to change in the quantity supplied is S to S2. So this is nothing but a decrease in supply. See in contraction, expansion, the name itself it is very clear. Increase in supply, decrease in supply. ये सिर्फ नाम पे आप नाम से ही आपको पता चलता है ये सारा चीज़. Just use little just common sense and use little your brain. Will come to know everything. Now moving towards the next slide, that is the concept of cost and revenue. What is the cost? For starting any business, you need to incur cost, that is total fixed cost, variable cost. These are nothing but a cost जो अपने को पैसा लगाना पड़ता है. Revenue यानी which we earn, finally जो अपने को मिलता है वो अपना revenue रहता है. और cost यानी जो अपन इनकर्ड करते हैं, जो अपन लगाते हैं. सो लेट्स लुक एट द कॉस्ट, टोटल कंसेप्ट कॉस्ट. सी whenever an entrepreneur starts taking any production, he has to use certain variable inputs like he needs raw material, labor, capital, etc. He has to make them payment. This expenditure incurred on this input is known as the cost of production. Cost of production क्या है? जो अपन इन सब पे लगाते हैं. We use it on the labor. We need to pay. There are certain factors of production: land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. We need to pay them. So this is nothing but the cost of the production. So first is the total cost. The name itself it is very clear. जो भी अपन total अपना खर्चा है, that is our total cost. The total cost is the total expenditure incurred by a firm on the factor of production required for the production of goods and services. What is total cost? Total cost is the sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost. जो भी अपना खर्चा है, whatever we have incurred by the firm on factor of production, जो भी आपने को प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए goods and service, whatever in business we are, whatever production we are doing, we have to incur some total cost, total expenditure on them. So how we will get the total cost? Total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Now what is the total uh, TFC? TFC is nothing but a total fixed cost. Total fixed cost like अभी लैंड मशीनरी अपने को पता है, इस पर अपने को खर्चा करना ही है, तो दिस आर नथिंग बट अ टोटल कॉस्ट. लाइक total fixed cost are those expenses of production which are incurred on fixed factor such as land and machinery. इस पे अपने को पक्का खर्चा करना ही है. वेरिएबल कॉस्ट लाइक लेबर, पावर, रॉ मटेरियल, इस पे भी अपने को खर्चा करना है, बट ये क्या है, वेरिएबल कम ज़्यादा. लाइक रॉ मटेरियल अपने पास कम ज़्यादा हो सकता है, लेबर वी कैन डू प्लस माइनस एज पर अवर सप्लाई एंड डिमांड. So these are total variable cost. So total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Fixed cost are land, machinery we can assume as a fixed cost, and variable cost मतलब labor, electricity bill, raw material, these are nothing but a total variable cost. See how we can get the total variable cost. Total variable cost are those expenses of production which are incurred on variable factors such as labor, raw material, power, fuel, etc. Now average cost and marginal cost. Average cost refers to the cost of production per unit. Cost of production per unit मतलब average निकालना है ना अपने को. How do we take out the average? During exam times, how do we take out the average? We take the total subjects. Like suppose there are total subject, I have 6 subject, एक पेपर मेरा 100 मार्क्स का है, तो टोटल 600 and the marks I have incurred, that would be the my cost, और जो निकलेगा वो अपना एवरेज होगा, राइट. सो एवरेज कॉस्ट रेफर टू द कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन पर यूनिट. It can be calculated as upon total cost upon total quantity. For example, see, if I say that total cost of production of 40 units of a commodity is rupees 800, what you will do? See, cost of production is my 40 rupees and 800 is my 800 will be my TC, total cost. So 800 divided by 40, that is the 20 per unit. So my average cost would be the 20 per unit. Now marginal cost. Marginal cost is the net addition made to the total cost by producing one more unit of output. So we have studied about the marginal. In marginal utility we have studied marginal utility यानी adding one to the total cost. Same thing we are doing in the marginal cost. Marginal cost is the net addition made to the total cost by producing एक यूनिट एक्स्ट्रा प्रोड्यूस किया या एक यूनिट ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस किया, तो मुझे एडिशनल प्रॉफिट कितना मिला, दैट इज नथिंग बट द मार्जिनल कॉस्ट. नाउ रेवेन्यू कंसेप्ट. रेवेन्यू, द टर्म रेवेन्यू refers to the receipt obtained by a firm from the sale of certain quantities of a commodity at given price in the market. रेवेन्यू यानी जो अपने को मिला, जो अपन ने प्रोडक्शन किया, मार्केट में बेचा, टोटल कॉस्ट, टोटल वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, इन सब का निकाल के, इन सबको देके जो भी मिला, दैट इज आवर टोटल रेवेन्यू. वॉट एवर इज लेफ्ट विथ अस, दैट इज माई टोटल रेवेन्यू. द टर्म रेवेन्यू टू द receipt obtained by a firm from sale of certain quantities of a commodity at a given price in the market. So there are 3 types of revenue: total revenue, average revenue and marginal revenue. Total revenue is the total sale proceeded of a firm by selling a commodity at a given price. Total revenue यानी जो अपने जितना टोटल सेल किया है उससे अपने को जो भी मिला है प्रॉफिट, दैट इज आवर total revenue. How we'll get the total revenue? Price into quantity. Like total revenue is equal to price into quantity. Like suppose if a firm sells 15 unit of a commodity at rupees 200, what will be there? Here price is rupees 200 and the quantity is 15, so answer is 3000 rupees. तो total revenue अपने को total profit कितना मिल रहा है यहाँ पे? 3000 rupees. What is average revenue? Average revenue is the revenue per unit of the output sold. Average revenue is the revenue per unit of the output sold. It is obtained by dividing total revenue upon total cost. See, if we take an example like suppose if the total revenue 15 unit is rupees 3000, what will I do? 3000 divided by 15, that is the 200. 200 is by the average revenue. Next is the marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is the net additional made to the total revenue by sale an extra unit of commodity. When I sell an extra unit of commodity, whatever net additional profit I get, whatever total revenue I get, that is my additional profit. So MR is equal to TRN minus TRN minus 1. That is the formula. This was the revenue concept. Total cost concept and total revenue concept, these are the two concepts. In that we studied about the total cost, total revenue, average cost, average revenue, marginal cost and marginal revenue. So this is the end of the chapter 4. If you have any, just go through the chapter properly. If you have any doubt, just mail your doubts at my email ID. Thank you.